What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Keith, and I'm here as always with my brother, Nell, and we are actually really back on the pod, man, for you guys. We took a break last week, but we back on. We don't usually do breaks, so we back on here, man. It's season 4, episode 17. Keith and Nell, let's get it. Nell, what's up, man?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing
Good
great,
to be
bro.
back.
Yeah, good. Another day, Hate it has to come the night after a Nick loss, but, it's fine. Hate it had to come, after 2 straight Buck losses, but, here we are. It's been a lot. It took a lot to pull myself onto here today, man.
Glad to have you. I was 2 for
but I'm
2
here.
yesterday. Go Sixers, go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Good dubs,
Hey,
good dubs.
shout out to the Cowboys. My fantasy team, since CeeDee Lamb has been back and when CeeDee was gone with George Pickens, we looking great. I'm on a run, so I appreciate y'all for that. Me and Nell, folks, we're doing our biannual Michigan-Maryland game this weekend. 2 for 2 will be back in the spot again. It's always a fun time with my brother Nell, and we have Walt and Sal out there, so that would be cool. 2 for 2 live in College Park. Hopefully watch my Michigan Wolverines not derail our season a week before Ohio State week. So, yeah, man. But let's get right into it. We back on the pod today. A lot has happened. Starting with the NFL, man. The Seahawks. Sam Darnold. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. We saw the bad of Sam Darnold, right? And since then, since we last talked about it, they've, hasn't been great. So do you think at this point, have the Seahawks been figured out and exposed now?
I don't know if they've been exposed, but, I think when it comes to the Seahawks, much like we talked about the Colts a few weeks ago, they've got a really good defense. When things are clicking, we've seen the offense been great. JSN has, emerged as one of the best receivers in the league. But this is a team that goes as far as Sam Darnold could take them. And, we've seen that over the past 2 years and arguably the 3 biggest games of his career. 2 against the Rams and against the Lions. Week 18 last year for the division, they've been stinkers.
Yeah.
In those 3 games, he's averaging 230 yards, 57% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 6 turnovers, 19.4 QBR in those 3 games. So, it may not necessarily be that they got exposed, but it's a problem, and it's becoming a recurrence when it comes to Sam Darnold. If they have any aspirations of winning this conference, he's got to play better in the biggest games, and you're gonna have to beat a team like the Rams to possibly win this conference.
Yeah, it just shows what we've kind of always known could be an Achilles heel of this team, right? It's the same reason why the Vikings didn't take the chance and pay the man, right? What we saw him do in the playoffs, despite having a great year. This is what you can get from Sam Darnold. Similarly, like how you touched on Daniel Jones. It can happen. I don't think that the Seahawks are exposed for anything different than what we know them to be. However, kind of to your point, like if Sam Darnold is bad, the Seahawks will inherently be bad. If Sam Darnold is uncomfortable and not looking great, it doesn't matter how great JSN is, right? It doesn't matter what you got with Kenneth Walker in the backfield. It doesn't matter how good that defense is. If you get in big games, we talk about the playoffs. What quarterbacks do you trust to win you a playoff game? Can you say definitively, I trust Sam Darnold to win me a playoff game? I can't. Right, I can't say that confidently, and I think that's the struggle. If you're the Seahawks, every other phase is going to have to be 10,000 times better almost to make sure that we can make up for if Sam Darnold is off, right, in those big games. If he's not playing well, what can we do? Do you trust him against Matt Stafford? Do you trust him against Jalen Hurts? Do you trust him against Jared Goff? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you? I'm not so sure. I know with those other 3 guys, I can confidently say they'll probably play just fine. They'll probably be okay. They won't be the main reason why they lose, but for the Seahawks' sake, in these games when they're losing them against good teams, it's right there in front of you of why they're not playing well. So I think for them, some has to give. They got to find a way. They have they're unlike his time with the Vikings. Their head coach is a defensive guy now, right? So it's a little bit different. They play the game different, the way that they scheme, decision making, all of that. So they'll have to make some adjustments, for him. Can they win a playoff game? I think they can, but would I be confident in saying, Sam Darnold led Seahawks from what I've seen this year and what we've known of Sam Darnold over his career? I wouldn't be too confident myself. Yeah. So
Yeah. Four turnovers, no touchdowns. I mean, the fact that they were still, you know,
in the game,
able to be in the game and have a chance to win it, says a lot about their defense and their team overall. Like I said, I think they're still a dangerous team, but the question mark is still out there. If Sam Darnold can win these big games, and we've yet to see it.
yeah, especially with what they got. We talk about JSN. They added Rashid Shaheed. They've got weapons too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a one man show over there. So I hope they can figure it out in Seattle and keep being formidable, because I think they're a really fun team to watch too. Like, I mean, if you really watch the Seahawks play, I mean, in those games when they've been putting it up, their offense looks great. But you said it: 4 turnovers, no touchdowns. Like, nobody's gonna really win that game in the NFL. We on the NFC, at the top of the NFC. I alluded to the Lions, I alluded to the Eagles, the Rams as well. Now, where are we looking at right now? It's what, week 13 of the league, I think, or 11, 12? Maybe I can't count. I think it's week 12.
We're going into week 12.
Week 12. All right. Atop the NFC standings, we've got the Eagles. You got the Rams. The Bears are sitting at 7-3. That's fun. But we talked about the Seahawks. We talked about the Lions just coming off a loss to the Eagles as well. Who's the team to beat in the NFC right now?
I gotta go with the Eagles. I keep waiting for the
For
Eagles
it
to
to
go
happen.
against one of the top teams and get knocked down in the pecking order, and still through all the injuries, the struggling offensive production, the drama with AJ Brown, the team continues to win, and I think they aren't even playing their best football yet. Maybe this is their best football, which is still pretty good to have them at 8-2 at the top of the conference, but I just feel like the offense just has way too much talent to not eventually figure this out. I know it's been a weird connection, with AJ and Hurts, and just that entire passing offense all season. They haven't been able to run the ball as well as they were, with obviously Saquon rushing for 2,000 yards. Um, but the defense, the most encouraging unit of this team has been the defense. The MVP of this team's been the defense. And we had a lot of question marks about them after the opening game against the Cowboys. But give Dory Jackson credit. He's stepped up and played a lot better. The D line wasn't getting pressure. But they made some moves. Guys are healthy, and last couple of weeks they just been flat out dominant against two of the best offenses in the NFL and two of the top teams. That we expect to be formidable come playoff time with the Lions and Packers. So to hold both of those teams under 10 points says a lot about their defense, their secondary. It's been playing amazing. Quinyon Mitchell is one of the best corners in football. And when it comes to the Eagles and Rams, I just feel like the Eagles just have their number. I know the Rams are
Yeah.
playing great. Stafford's playing amazing. When they got Puka and Devontae,
They get
they
knocked
got
down
they
this
got
week.
weapons. They got weapons out there. We'll see, but I just feel like when they go against the Eagles, I just feel like it's something about that matchup that Eagles always come out on top. So I think if the NFC goes through Philadelphia again, I don't see why they won't be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, it's hard to sit here and I'm looking around at teams. I'm like, maybe the Rams, but then you look and it's like they've already got a loss to the Eagles. And then they lost to what, the Niners or something. Um, and I just can't say, kind of like you said, like I can't say from watching those Rams Eagles games that I think that they'll beat them. I can't say the Lions coming off a loss to this team. I can't say the Packers. They have two of the worst losses and a tie that I've ever seen. So of course, yeah, like the Eagles, they got to be the team to beat. They held the Lions, a team that averages over 29 points a game, to 9 points. You know what I'm saying? 9 points. And the truth of the matter is, we don't know why the Eagles are this dysfunctional and polarized. Well, you know why. We know why they're polarizing. We know whatever. The media is what it is, but the dysfunction that centers around this team, for what it's worth, inside of that locker room, they found a way to do enough to block out the noise and keep winning. And at the end of the day, that's one of those things that you, when you think about a championship team, you have to be able to block out the noise, right? Like sometimes they might play into it. It's a lot of dysfunction, but some people thrive in that dysfunction, in that chaos. And as of right now, at the end of every game, no matter how stressful it might be from the Eagles' offensive perspective, Nick Sirianni is able to walk out week after week with a smile on his face because his team won. And then until, like you said, until we see somebody knock him down, until we see the dysfunction and this offense that you know the media is talking about Jalen Hurts and all this and that and having beef and stuff within the organization, until we see that offense start to become, while we're losing games in Philly, while they're losing games, it is what it is, right? You can be mad all you want. People in the NBA are mad that Shea and the Thunder have so much fun after they win and beat the hell out of people. It don't matter. Stop. Go beat them. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see the Eagles keep. We hear about the circus with the offense, yet they find a way to win. The defense is doing their part. Everybody's stepping up. They're getting healthy. I mean, hey, till they beat them, until somebody beat them, I don't see why they won't make it back, man. It just seems like they know how to win, and at the end of the day, that's the tell of a true champ. So
Yeah, the key is they got to stay healthy. Lane Johnson being out for
yeah,
6 weeks, I think that's
he
gonna be
needs a little
rough.
break. He needs a little break.
Hopefully he can come back and be healthy throughout the playoffs. But yeah, like you said, they just always find a way to win. Like I said, defense has been playing amazing. They've made some upgrades. They've been getting a ton of pressure lately. So like I said, that secondary is awesome, and I just have to think that they'll figure it out offensively because just got too many talented players there.
And it's just like, even if they don't, they figured it out so much, like defensively, special teams. I mean, they do it all, right? Offense struggling, you block field goals. Offense struggling, you're blocking punts. Defense is on, getting picks, turnovers. It's just insane, bro. They
don't turn the
find a
ball
way.
over.
They don't, and that's a big part of what they have going on. That's something that, if your team can win the turnover battle, which as we heard over the past week, that's their main objective, right? Win the turnover battle. And a lot of teams say that, but the Eagles factually do not lose the turnover battle. If they get in a short yardage, fourth and 2 or less, first down, that's a game changer. Whether or not they're getting points, they control clock, they play tough defense, and they don't give you the football. If my team had to win games like that, I wouldn't be so upset. I'd shut up and watch us win. I don't care. The 2000s Bucks. That's what we did. I mean, let's be real. Defense. What did the Warren Sapp used to tell the offense? Can you give me 14 points? Give me 14 points, we win. That's crazy. And that's what you're seeing from this Philadelphia Eagles team. On the other side of the ball, though, or on the side of the world, AFC. Those Ravens, man, we talked about it with Lamar out. Could they get over the hump? The win of the season, the game of the season. What was that? 3 weeks ago, right before Lamar came back and they won. I think it was on Thursday night, or it was either Sunday night that Lamar played Thursday. I can't remember. Either way, we're looking at it now. They are 5-5. They just beat the Browns, 4 straight wins, and they're now 1 game behind the Steelers. You think the Steelers have enough, man, to hold off the Ravens while they look like they're really surging. It looks like Lamar is getting comfortable. Henry's getting back in there. The defense is starting to kind of try to shore up a little bit. Though that Browns victory wasn't beautiful, they pulled it off. What are you thinking? Steelers still got this one, or is it Lamar's now?
We got to see what's going on with Rodgers' wrist. That could play a huge part in all of this. Steelers, they've been playing well of late. I think if you look at their schedules, I think the Ravens schedule would lean you to favor them, but I wouldn't crown the Ravens just yet. Like you said, it wasn't a great win against the Browns. A win is a win, you'll take it, but they didn't look amazing. Defense has been a huge reason for their 4-game win streak. They've really turned it around. They weren't playing well at the beginning of the season, but offensively it still feels like something's missing. Derrick Henry, hasn't, he isn't the worst year, but it's just not the year that he's not having the same impact that he was a year ago. Offensive line hasn't been great. Lamar got sacked 5 times against the Browns. Most of those being
I
Myles
was gonna say
Garrett,
Miles
who's
Garrett.
just having an insane season. But I just wouldn't outright assume that the Ravens are going to run away with the division. Now that they're only a game back. They do have 2 division matchups against the Steelers coming up, so I think those will pretty much decide who's going to win this division.
Yeah, it'll be fun, right? I'm of course going to side with the Ravens here. You talked about Aaron Rodgers and his wrist. Steelers fans have been asking for, was it Will Howard? Is that his name? Will Howard, the Ohio State guy, to see what he's got. So I guess we'll see what he's got if Rodgers can't play. But even still,
I
man,
think it's Mason Rudolph if Rodgers
is
can't
Rudolph
play.
still?
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. They're not winning. Yeah, Ravens got it. We be in there.
Okay.
And don't sleep on the Bengals, right? Joe Burrow will be back in a couple weeks, if not this week.
Yeah.
It might AFC North might get real sweaty. Quick
Missing
plug, man.
Jamar Chase now because he's spitting on people and lying
He
about
appealed.
it.
He appealing that, man. He appealing that. He said if I was
They
gonna
got
spit
this
on
man
him,
at
I'd spit on his
4K.
face.
They got this man at 4K.
I can't, but that's just stupid, bro. And it's funny because when I was looking at this game, I literally was talking to myself. I was like, I don't see Chase and Ramsey making it through this game. Like I didn't think they were gonna fight, but I'm like, that's gonna be a shit talking mess. They're gonna have to stop that game a billion times because the Steelers defense was rowdy and Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. So
They should suspend him 3
stupid,
games
though.
now just for appealing.
You said they should.
They should give him 3 games now instead of 1.
Why
just
you
for
wasting
appealing.
Yeah, that's to appeal something that you got like
For
right
acting
on.
like acting like we can't see you.
That's your boy Dak got away with it, so we'll see.
Come on, yeah.
Speaking of the AFC North, though, Shador Sanders was in there for them Browns this weekend. Shador time. How do you see it going well? I mean, I gotta say this. This is my one thing I want to say about it. A lot of people were giving the guy a lot of crap, right? Say he didn't look that great, whatever. He made a couple good throws. He also looked like a rookie. He also looked. Hey, it's all right. They said the man has never taken a snap with the ones. Like up until this point, you're the Cleveland Browns. You have nothing at quarterback. You trade Flacco away in your division to play somebody else. You got 2 rookies in that quarterback room, one of which week after week looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL. And Shador Sanders' first time taking a snap, first rep with the first team is in a game where you need him to win you the game. Coach him malpractice. That's what the Browns get. That's my 2 cents on Shador. That's all I want to say. I don't care how bad he looked, but if it like you literally threw him to the wolves and say, "Oh yeah, here you go."
I
Like,
agree.
what?
I agree with everything you said. But 4 for 16, brother. What were we doing out there? I mean,
He was running for his life,
it.
man.
I get it. I get it.
Like 8 of those throws were him trying to throw the ball away, and while he's getting smacked.
But damn, 4 for 16.
Sorry,
Talking about he had a couple good throws in there. He only had a couple completions.
hey, and one of them was big. That drove 20 yards down the seam. Boom.
One of them went to the other team.
That's all right, man. They were practice. Give him some time. Then they robbing my guy in the middle of the game. It's just a bad day for him. Let him bounce back.
Yeah.
That's my dynasty quarterback. It's a shame I might have to start him in our dynasty league now because I got Kyler Murray who's out, Joe Burrow who's out. You know who started quarterback for me this week? Aaron Rodgers. Guess where he's at? Out. The only quarterback I have left on my team is Shador Sanders. He's about to play. It's no way.
Maybe he'll get some reps with the ones this week and
maybe
have a better performance. Might even get a touchdown
Stefanski
pass.
don't like him, so who knows? Last thing on the NFL site, man. Chiefs, Colts. The Chiefs are still the AFC leaders, or not the Chiefs. The Colts are still the AFC leaders, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check.
No, it is the Denver Broncos.
Really? It is. Wow. 9-2 Broncos, 9-2 Patriots, 8-2 Colts. 6-0 at home. You get Pat Mahomes and the boys on the road in a game where the Chiefs are now, 5-5, just coming off of, 2 straight losses. Chiefs are outside looking into the playoffs right now. Now, is it a must? I mean, it's got to be a must win, right? Like it's you drop this game, you're 5-6.
It's pretty much a must win.
Yeah,
It's close to a
about
must
as
win
must
as it
win as must
gets.
win gets.
Yeah.
Hey, look at us. Okay, that's tough.
I think in order for the Chiefs to make the playoffs, they're gonna need at least 10 wins, and honestly, probably 11. Um,
Yeah, AFC's nasty. You got the Chargers who don't know what team they want to be.
Jags got the last spot at 6-4.
Jags at 6-4, and the Texans are technically ahead of them at 5-5.
Yes, and they have the Texans on the schedule. Um, so they need to win at least five of their last seven, which I think is possible.
Yeah,
Um, they play the Broncos again. They play the Chargers, and then they play the Colts. Let's say they go 2-1 in those games. I think they can win the rest of the games on their schedule. No, you can get to like I said, if they can get to 10-11, I think they'd be all right. Like you said, Chargers, they got some injuries up in their offensive line, coming off a bad loss to Jacksonville.
terrible
Jacksonville's
loss.
Jacksonville's up and down, dealing with some injuries. Now they've got an interesting schedule. Uh, let's see, the Chargers got the Eagles,
You got the
Cowboys.
Ravens. The Ravens at 5-5, right behind you. I mean, and the Ravens got what? Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Pats, Packers, Steelers. I don't know, man.
Jacksonville's got a pretty easy schedule. They got the Jets, Cardinals, Titans.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be.
they do play the Colts twice and the Broncos. So I mean, I'll say like,
Look at this, man. What is this? 20? What is this? 2012 again? 2013. You got Colts, Broncos at the top.
yeah,
What's going on here?
and Patriots.
The AFC that we grew up on, man. That it's back. We'll see, man. I don't know. It'll be exciting for sure. The NFL is up. Look, man, up for grabs. We talk about quarterbacks all the time, but at this point, man, we're seeing the benefit of great coaching for one, right? You talk about the Patriots, a team that last year was abysmal. Fired your coach, what, 5-6 weeks into the season, if that. And now look at them, right? You got the Broncos. We talked about Sean Payton and what he was doing over there. The Colts, like, good coaching in all phases of the football field, man. It just it's speaking volumes. So we'll see how the NFL shakes out, man. On the NBA side of things, I hate to say this, but the god daggone Pistons are on a 10-game win streak, man. They at top of the East. I know you like to hate, but your team is up there too, right? Y'all in there. So your team's at full
Somewhere in
strength
the
now.
mix. We are not
So
full strength.
so are these Pistons, right? The Cade Cunningham Pistons. Mind you, Cade hasn't even been playing every game, and they still on a 10-game win streak. They got random guys that you picking up in fantasy coming off the bench and cooking for them. Jalen Duren, one of my guys that we talked about at the beginning of the year as a potential breakout candidate, looks amazing. Are they
Had 30-point
legitimately?
double the other night.
He's like that. He's like that. Are they legitimately a threat, bro? You know, we talked about Cleveland, we talked about New York as the favorites to come out the East, but now the Pistons at number one, 10-game win streak. They legit?
I think the Pistons are legit. I was a bit worried about the loss of Malik Beasley because he was such a sniper for them. Made a lot of big shots, big threes for them. Duncan Robinson's been really good in that spot so far. But Cade and Duran, like you said, are leading the charge, and you know they've been building something nice in Detroit. Most impressive
Yeah.
thing about them, like you said, Cade's been missing a lot of games, but really everyone in that starting lineup
It's all around
has
effort.
missed games. Jaden
Mhm.
Ivey's been out
Still
since
hasn't
last
played.
year.
Mhm.
Tobias has missed games. Sar Thompson's missed games. Duran's missed games. But they continue to find ways to win. They've got the second best defense in the league this year so far. Constantly hounding you. So, yeah, just a really good team defensively. I think Cade is on the cusp of superstardom. And they get after it. That's their calling card defensively. If you look at the landscape of the East, I don't think it would really catch anyone by surprise if they were to knock off the Cavs or the Knicks. I think you would still, have those two up there if not ahead of the Pistons, just because we got to see
Yeah.
it first. But I think come season's end, it wouldn't be a shock once this Pistons teams get at full strength. Maybe they make some moves at the deadline if they really feel like they have a chance to win the conference this year and make a splash. If they get another shooter in there, it could be really dangerous because Cade's been really good at attacking and also playmaking for this team. He's got a lot of wings out there. They get out and they run. They play defense and turn defense and offense better than almost any team in the league other than OKC. So love what I'm seeing from Detroit.
Yeah, I'm glad you said OKC because when I look at this team, I see a team that's kind of built in that mold. You got your point guard, your lead guy. I mean, Cade's averaging 27.5 points and 9.9 assists. So he's averaging 28 and 10. Right? You got your big man. He's averaging 20. He's rebounding. He's holding down the fort. But then you look, and what's amazing to me is the next everybody else they play. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys averaging over 8 points a game. 9 other guys on the floor. And like you said, there's been injuries, right? So there's been guys in and out of the lineup. But what you see is a selfless group of guys that are just like, hey, we know who our guy is. And it's crazy. I was watching Starting Five today, and I was on the part about Shea, and he was talking about, when he got traded from the Clippers and how he went over there and he was like, hey, I got my own thing now. And then I can't remember who it was a coach. They were just talking about how like it's a lot easier if, your lead guy makes guys want to play with him as opposed to just I'm the best guy, so you have to play with me, right? So with Cade, what you see is these guys love playing in Detroit. They got a swagger to them, right? They have an attitude. They know that their guy is their guy, and they're okay with everybody else just getting in where they fitting in and getting the job done. On the defensive end, they got my guy Javonte Green, who is a fascinating role player for them. They just have a lot of guys in that mode. Him, Ron Holland. You talked about Jaden Ivey. Like when you talk about why the Thunder are so good, because they have their guy, they've got their Robin, and then everybody else says, I'm gonna do everything else I have to do to win and make that guy's job easy. And that's what you see this team doing, right? And the benefit is they got Tobias Harris, a veteran over there that can, lead them as well and keep them on the same page with vocal leadership and just doing what he's supposed to do. Let's not act like veteran leadership's not important. All right. Thank you. You know that. So I'm just saying, do I think they're a threat? No. But do I love watching them play and do I think they're in that mode? Yeah. They're about a year or two out
You
now.
saw Cade say on Katie's
Yeah, he said
podcast
he felt like they should have won. I watched all that today.
I felt that way too.
I'm sure. What would you rather him say?
He didn't have to say anything.
Oh, okay. So that's what I would have rather him not say nothing then. How about that? We'll see. Look, Captain resting up that ankle for the 15th time. Let me tell you something. Why? I know as a hooper, your shoe is your shoe. But if Jalen Brunson turns his ankle one more time and puts them goddamn Kobe's back on his feet, I just don't understand it, bro. It's every year, 6 times a year. You roll your ankle 6 times a year.
Gotta go talk to Steph.
But yeah, shout out to the Pistons, man. I ain't mad at them. I like Cade a lot. Me and you both are high on him this year, and a guy that could take that Shea leap. And I mean, the numbers show. They look good. Sadness, man. Victor Wembanyama, one of our favorite players to watch. Me and Nell, man. Whenever Wemby's playing, let me tell you, me and Nell
I don't think it's
are
a
probably
shock that Wemby is out and LeBron is coming back.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, because just when you thought the league was about to be down, here comes
Brian
the king.
said, "Oh, I
king
think
is
I'll
back.
play tonight." Like, get out of here, bro. That's crazy. But Wemby's out, man. For the Spurs, he's got a calf strain, right? We know in the NBA now, if you have a calf strain, you're shelved for at least a month. Wemby is the face of the league, the future face of the league, the now face of the league. 7'6", man. His calf and the average human's calf just not structurally built the same. Probably structurally built the same. But you get what I'm trying to say. You're going to be cautious with Wemby. Wemby tears Achilles. That's a much different. We talking about a completely different career trajectory at that point, right? Can they survive without Wemby? They got De'Aaron back. They got Sohan out there playing. They got Keldon. They got Castle. Still without Dylan Harper. But the Spurs are a team that looks like they're on the cusp of trying to push into that real contention spot. Can they survive without Wemby for
I,
up to a month, maybe two?
I think they can hold on. I mean, they say, they'll evaluate him in 2 to 3 weeks. Definitely don't want to rush him
He's
back
not
and,
playing in 2 weeks.
possibly, yeah, possibly, like you said, having Achilles tear. So, I think they can. I think they can survive. I'm just a bit worried about them on the court defensively. Uh, pause it.
Bro.
The music was fucking with me.
Oh, you can hear it?
That joke got loud as shit. That game got loud as shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can hear it that clearly.
Yeah, heard the buzzer go
Bro, I
off.
can.
Like I heard lyrics. I was like, damn, that jump jumping now.
Game starting. All right, man. Look, we got.
All right, this is the last one though. So and then we just
Yeah,
throw it in.
yeah.
We good.
I'm gonna just mute while you talk, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I think the Spurs can hold on. I'm only worried about them defensively. Um, I think, they have the second best defense in the league with Wemby's on the court. Defensive ratings about 105, which would be good for second in the league. And when he's not on the court, it's at 115, which would be about 20th in the league. So they go from top 2 to about bottom 10.
Do you want me to ruin this segment for you? Because just now, San Antonio Spurs guard Stephon Castle has a left hip flexor strain that will be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. Another
All
one
right.
bites the
We'll
dust.
take it. We'll take it from the top. We'll take it from the top.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Oh man, I think it's gonna be tough for the Spurs. We just
Oh, I think we keep this all. I think we keep all of this in there. At this point,
Yeah.
look, man, the Spurs are. Listen, people. We laughing because Nell's trying to do this segment, and we get where Castle's out. So like, at this point, things are
Castle
getting a
being
little
out
dicey.
sucks.
It's a little dicey.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got Castle playing well. Thankfully Fox is back. But now without Castle, Dylan Harper, might be back around Thanksgiving time. Hopefully. When Wemby's not on the court, like I said, defensive rating, they're pretty much a bottom half of the league defensively. I think they'll be able to win a couple games here and there. I don't think they'll fall off a cliff, but they'll need Wemby and Castle back sooner than later. But they got Vassell, they got Keldon Johnson, they got a pretty good cast of guys that can hopefully win them some games, and they can shoot the lights out some games. So we'll see. Like I said, don't think they'll fall off a cliff, but hopefully Wemby can get.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll take a lot out of De'Aaron Fox to really carry it on. A lot from Keldon Johnson. Man, but you're down your young nucleus, right? Wemby, Dill, Castle. A lot of people was talking about trading De'Aaron Fox. I'm sure the Spurs are happy that they didn't do that now, because you're gonna need every ounce of them moving forward. So we'll have to see, man. How you feeling about your Sixers, man? Checking in on your team at this point. I think we 14, 15 games in. Where's your head at? How you feeling?
Yeah, they got me. They got me. They got me those first 4 games, not gonna lie. Garbage defensively. Terrible transition defense. Maxey starting to look like AI for real with all the shots that he take. VJ is, the 34-point game, an opener was great, but, it was crazy of us to think that was, something that he could give us over the course of the entire season. Here we go again. We got knee problems. Paul George just got back. 2 of 7, 9 points. Nick Nurse has destroyed my boy Jarrett McCain's confidence. So yeah, we got to win the record. We got to win the record, but over the long haul, doesn't look great. Um, Playing team at best, maybe sneak in as an eighth seed, maybe first round exit if so. Um, we'll
It's all
see.
right, man.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, on the other side of things, I don't know how to feel about my Knicks, right? On one hand, we scored over 130 points. What is this? One, two, three, four, five, four times, and that was three times in a week, right? And then on the other hand, you got the team that lost to the Magic by 20, essentially, and they struggle to have an identity, right? I think Mike Brown's put some good stuff in play. I think when the Knicks play how we should play, it looks really good, right? When we play through Cat, when we play through a little bit of everybody, when it's not just I feel like we resort to the Tibbs, watch Jalen Brunson play still a little bit too much as a team. That's why I don't want to say I'm glad that he's out, as I just went on my rant about him being out. But with him being out, I think somebody said it. He was like, after what game? It might have been after the Miami game. They were just talking about how it's harder to defend the Knicks without Jalen Brunson because you don't know where everything is going to come from, right? But at the same time, we're now in a stretch where you don't have Jalen Brunson, we don't have OG Anunoby, and we're trying to stay afloat. I think we'll be fine, and I like what we see. I told Nell before we got on here, I think Deuce McBride is playing his way out of New York, even though he's not playing that bad. I think his value will be better served somewhere else now. I think the Knicks' problem is we need a backup point guard. We've been talking about it forever, right? Who's going to be the backup point guard after Jalen Brunson? And we've tried the Deuce McBride experiment, and it just doesn't work, right? We've resorted back to Josh Hart and Mikal bringing it up. Jordan Clarkson's coming in playing point guard, and it's just like, mm-mm.
Not
And
gonna get it
you
done.
need, yeah, it's not gonna work. Especially now we play good teams, right? We blew Miami out the other night. I knew last night you're gonna see Eric Spoelstra and them again. They're gonna adjust. It's gonna be a much different experience, right? Granted, we fought hard and we could have won that game, but we didn't. So at the end of the day, that's something else you gotta go back to the drawing board. Love what I see from Mitchell Robinson, though. I want to say that. Love what I see from Mitchell Robinson. And it was a stat, and I wish we got on here last week because I don't have the stat no more. But it was just talking about like his percentage of like offensive rebound and how he like obliterates every record in NBA history in terms of offensive rebounding. And I just wanted to revisit when we talked about your guy Moses Malone supposedly stopping Mitchell Robinson on the offensive glass. And I just wanted to reiterate, it would not happen. It cannot happen. Nobody can stop him on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I bet a
Period.
bunch of 6'8", 6'9" guys couldn't.
You talk about the best rebounder ever. That's what you said. Or maybe that's not what you said, but one of the best rebounders ever. You're dealing
That's
with
a big difference than the
you're
dudes
dealing
Mitchell
with you're
Robinson is
dealing with
grabbing
you're
rebounds
dealing
against.
with the best rebounder ever. Put Mitchell Robinson out there with Dennis Rodman. You got Dennis Rodman, but 7'2". Sick. Nasty. Go Knicks.
You don't even believe
But
that.
I do. I actually do. Since we missed 2 weeks, man, we gonna start our pick 'em back at where we were when we left off. Score was 18-19. I just came back. Week 12 now. Lock of the week. Just get back on it. Let's get back on it.
Let's lock it in. Let's lock it in
What
right
you
here. Let's
got?
go. Let's go Lions.
Ooh, who they play?
Really tough opponent. Trap game, honestly. And 1 o'clock games
I,
are
I
trap games. Yeah.
I think I like when you try to justify it. Go ahead. Lions. Let me look at this mess, bro. Oh, the Giants. Hey, y'all also got lucky because Jameis was hooping. And then he pulled a Jameis at the end of that game. But that's all right. The
Hilarious
Jameis Winston.
guy.
It was crazy. Yeah, I was telling everybody, I was like, the Jameis Winston experience. He's the most entertaining player to watch. It looks good, and then it's like, what the hell was that? A lot of Jameis. A lot of that from Jameis. I'm going to go with the Ravens, man, over the Jets. Easy trap game for them right there. Team that just benched their quarterback. You get a vet and Tyrod coming in. You think you should be, feeling yourself 4-game win streak, get the lowly Jets. You should blow them out. But it could be a trap. Just saying. Who's your
And
road
that's
dog
why
of the
you
week?
got them at your lock.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's
we gonna go
exactly why.
Patriots.
You getting lazy.
I'm getting lazy. I'm getting it
Sorry,
right.
bro. Go ahead.
I'm getting
You
ahead.
picking
That's
you
what I'm
picking eight
getting.
point favorites. That's
I'm
nasty.
getting ahead.
All right, all right.
I'm getting ahead.
um, excuse me, road dog. Dang, man. Nah, that's a trap game too. See, see. Them Seahawks, man, they take on the Titans. I think that's a good game for the road dog. This is when it gets fun. I'm getting points in this next one. Who you got? Upset alert. This is
I'm
where
taking
I'm
the
getting points.
Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. Let me get my
I actually,
points.
I actually considered. I like that. I mean, they might. I told people yesterday after y'all's game, I was like, if the Cowboys offense plays like this and the Eagles offense continues to struggle, like if at the end of the day, we know the Cowboys are going to score points. What we didn't know, and what a lot of people ain't talked about still, because it just happened yesterday, but that Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark in the middle of that defense looked kind of crazy. I was talking to Temp about it yesterday. He was like, bro, their Cowboys are running stunts I've never seen them run. And I personally like how Quentin Williams looks in the Cowboys jersey. I got to tell you that. I want to tell you
Yes,
that personally.
sir.
I
Yes,
want to tell
sir.
you that personally.
It looked
That'd
nice.
be a
It was
great.
against the Raiders though, so I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get too
right,
hyped.
right.
But I'm pretty much just making this decision banking off of Dak's 21-2 record against the division opponents at home. So that's what
True.
I'm banking this game off of.
Well, mine is
So
going to
we'll see.
be, we're going to go 2 for 2 this week. I'm taking my Bucks in an upset. 7-point dogs against the Rams, too. That's heavy. That's a heavy. I can go up on you with that one. If we both flat out go even this week,
I know the Rams are winning, so we're good.
and then the Bucks
We're
beat
good
the
there.
Rams, we're tied. I just want you to know. I
We're
tied it
good
up
there.
perfectly. So that's what we're gonna do, man. That's gonna do it for this episode of 2 for 2. It's season 4, episode 17. We hope you all enjoyed it. We are back in full effect. The construction woes are over. So me and Nell locked in. We're gonna, hopefully flick up, take some photos this weekend while we at the game, drop some stuff for you guys this week. Listen to the pod, enjoy it. Continue to engage with us on all platforms. We got you covered on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker. We also, Instagram, we got the Twitter, we got TikTok, we got everywhere you look for 2 for 2 pod. You got me and Nell individual on Instagram at KeysJ_23. And Nell, what's your Instagram?
Damn, what is my Instagram? I don't know. I
That's a
don't
damn
use it.
shame. Something with Nell in it. Nell on there. It's like Nell.
Might be Don Nellione.
Don Nellione. Yeah, you can find Nell if you're looking for him. It ain't that hard.
Don't
Just
look
go
for
on the
me
2
on
for 2
there.
page. Go on the 2 for 2 page, you'll find them, man. But that's going to do it for us. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that shows love. We're going to keep doing this for you each and every week. With that, Keith and Nell, 2 for 2. We out.
We out. And the buzzer sounds.